Depending on who you ask, people will define the indomitable human spirit in many different ways. Some see it as a sort of natural superpower that emboldens the masculine urge for a final stand. Me. While others see it as more of a pseudoscience used by people on Hope Core to motivate their viewers into becoming their own boss by buying their online course and selling essential oils. The lavender oil cured my leprosy. Neither of these actually explains what it is or how it works. But I think I can. No, okay. So let's start right here. Why do we call it the indomitable human spirit? Now, it's fair to say that across the animal kingdom, humans didn't just win the genetic lottery, but we won it by a landslide. What? We've got big lumpy brains for thinking about stuff, prehensile thumbs for grabbing stuff. Oopsie. And when running long distance, we're faster than every other animal on land.
Wait, isn't that the cheetah?
Not over long distances, you silly little dumbass. Boop. It's true that pretty much any time someone tries to catch an animal, it goes something like this. Bow! But that only happens over short distances because they are built to run away, whereas we are built
for the chase.
Archaeologists have stated that it was this heightened endurance that gave humanity the edge back in the Stone Age, which, as a side note, they didn't know at the time. So could you imagine how embarrassing it would have been to be the first person to suggest that the ideal hunting strategy was literally just not giving up? Guys, I know it's been a tough day chasing after those rabbits and that deer and how we lost most of our tribe to those tigers, but I think if we just keep believing in each other and the bond that we share, then we can really show those animals what we're made of. Now, who's with me?
Just say a little prayer, get your money, man, life goes on.
I'm hopeful, yes I am, hopeful for today. Take this music and use it, let it take you away.
Whether you call it endurance or determination, humans are biologically built to last. But the only reason that we've managed to achieve all that we have is because that's not the only thing that we're built for. Among the many skills that humans come pre-packaged with, the most vital ones are our ability to think, to persist, and to We are strongly inclined to at anything we don't understand. And because we have enough determination to look for an answer and the intelligence to find it, there are pretty much no mysteries of nature that humanity hasn't already deciphered, or at the very least, begun extensively researching. Ah! Maybe. But our achievements aren't due to possessing any one of these qualities, but rather making use of all three in perfect harmony is what helped us to build humanity in the first place. I mean, have you seen those videos of people using ancient techniques to make pottery? The curiosity, intelligence, and determination it must have taken for them to perfect each of the individual steps is just unfathomable. I genuinely can't think of many other things that I would consider even today to be more impressive. In today's video, I'm going to build a computer motherboard by hand. Today, let's make a teapot. What? We are clearly capable of much more than we expect, which is the exact thought that has led scientists to inwards, in order to find out if we can surpass our potential if we just learn to believe. Kidding. I'm kidding. Speaking of our potential, the myth of humans only using 10% of our brain really is just a myth. But it's actually not entirely untrue either. Using your brain takes energy. Different parts of your brain do different things. So, to save on energy, our brain only uses what it considers absolutely necessary. Our brain places limiters on certain functions to stop us from exhausting or overexerting ourselves. But we do actually know what would happen if someone unlocked the full potential of their brain. And here's a demonstration. Now that might seem like an exaggeration, but when a person is electrocuted, every muscle in their body cramps at maximum strength, bypassing the limiters entirely. And when that happens, the force is strong enough to break every bone in your body. The reason our bodies possess that level of strength at all is because without it, there would be nothing to give that extra boost of strength needed when a mother needs to lift a car off her baby, or when a father has to hold it together during school graduation. Lifting those limiters is definitely a double-edged sword, but it does raise the question of just how much can we achieve through sheer determination? Famous weightlifter Eddie Hall heard about this and realized that if the strength limiters can be lifted through psychological circumstances, then maybe he could manipulate that in order to set a new weightlifting record. Eddie Hall used a technique known as emotion memory, which is a method most commonly used by actors to recall real-life circumstances, which they can then manipulate into producing a more authentically emotional performance. So Eddie used the technique to convince himself that attempting a 500-kilogram lift wasn't just about the record, but was necessary for him to lift a car off his child. And this is how it went. Eddie completed the lift, but he also began bleeding from pretty much every orifice in his head, and then he had a stroke, and then he got brain damage. Hey, Eddie, well done. I mean, I don't know. I know it sounds corny, but there is actual science backing up not only the existence of the indomitable human spirit, but also the power of friendship. Because our true potential can legitimately be unlocked by our desire to help others. Like in 2001 when a 7-foot bull shark bit off the arm of a young boy at a beach in Florida. So the kid's uncle decided to fight the shark to get the arm back. For more information on how he had the strength to fight a 7-foot bull shark, I refer you for a moment back to Exhibit B. Luckily, the guy not only escaped unharmed, he beat the shark and got the arm back. And he still had enough time to get the arm and his nephew to a hospital in time for them to surgically reattach it. The guy likely didn't know how to reattach the arm himself, and likewise, the surgeon likely didn't have the chrome-plated titanium scrotum that the kid's uncle had. But he had faith that he would succeed in doing everything that he could do for his nephew, and that someone else would be ready and willing to help in the ways that he couldn't. Archaeologists have determined that before a society is able to begin, they must always reach 2 distinct milestones: evidence of someone recovering from a broken leg bone, and the creation of art. In nature, a broken leg bone is a death sentence for pretty much every animal, and proof of a leg bone healing is evidence of a caring community that willingly protected and shared resources with someone who was unable to care for themselves. The creation of art is then a step further by showing that they have surpassed mere survival, and have instead begun to create and look towards the future.
Someday, League of Legend.
What really baffles me is how many times humanity has successfully made advancements that seemed way beyond what should have been possible at the time. Like in 1903, when the New York Times published an article titled "Flying Machines Which Do Not Fly," which criticized the failed attempts by engineers at creating a heavier-than-air aircraft. The article predicted that it would take from 1 million to 10 million years of continuous effort to create the first working prototype. Jerks. Could you imagine how different society would be if the Wright brothers read that article and then just gave up? Aw, that could have been us. Or how about any of the other impossible achievements that humans have made? Like in 1967, when Dr. Christian Barnard completed the first successful heart transplant. I want a divorce. Ever since your surgery, you've just been completely heartless. Hey. Or in 2003, when they successfully mapped all 3 billion base pairs of DNA in the human genome. 1.843956382 billion, 1.843956383 billion, 1.8439563...
Hey, morning, Gary.
Hey, The impossible was only made possible because of generations of curious people who ignored the vocal pessimists around them and instead believed in the indomitable human spirit within them and within the people to whom they passed the torch. And that's the truth behind the indomitable human spirit. It's not just a tool to use or a state of mind, it is humanity itself. The ability to achieve the impossible and the determination to actually do it is within your very DNA. So ask questions, get things wrong, learn something new, fall down, get back up again, and set your sights on taking just one more step forward. And if you ever lose sight of that next step, have faith that someone will be there to help light the way. Because we all possess an indomitable human spirit, and with it, failure exists not as a possibility, but as a choice.
Me.